This is the Movcan V30 Pro Max. It is a dual battery, dual motor, moped style fat tire e-bike that is part motorcycle, part goat, and 100% electric. Welcome back, my Watt family. Today we're going to be showcasing the Movcan, an e-bike that I believe it's underrated. And if you're looking for an e-bike that has real power, real range, and a frame that's definitely going to turn heads, then this might be your e-bike. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about the specs. We're going to be taking this out to dash today as well, because we're going to be testing it out in a real world environment. But right now, let's move to the front so we can start going over the specs. Now, in the front, we're going to start with the tires. They're 20 by 4-inch tires. Now, when you buy this e-bike, it is going to come with these tires. Now, these are nylon, and I don't know the brand on this tire, but I can tell you, and I've been saying this for a while on this channel, or the stock tires on e-bike are crap, right? And this is no exception, right? So the first thing I did when I got the e-bike, I replaced the tires with these Allscape, the HEB Allscape 20 by 4 tires. They're closer to motorcycle tires. And what I also did and I won't do this on others, because if you get a quality tire, you're not going to need to do it. But on this bike, what I did was I overcompensated. So not only did I get really good puncture resistant tires, but I also added a liner and I added flat out. Now, flat out goes on all my bikes. When we get a bike, we put flat out on all of them. But what I did extra to this one was add this heavy liner. And the reason why I won't do that again, number one, I don't think it's necessary when you got high quality tires. But number two, one of the things that I noticed is that it's very difficult to balance the tire. So with this liner, especially on that front tire, you do notice a little bit of instability, or you notice that the tire is not balanced. Let me just say that. Okay, so that's the tire. Then if we move up, the bike comes with plastic fenders. We have this great fork, and I'll show you the shocks on it. Gray shocks. We have this beautiful halo headlight. I added, like I do with all my bikes, some storage capacity, so I added this bag in the front. If we move up here, you'll see rubber handles. You see this on a lot of e-bikes. I am not that big of a fan of these handles, but they do have this nice palm rest. They're not locked, although I have not had issues with them. Let me turn on the bike. If we move, this bike comes with light switch. We do have turn signals. We do have a horn. And then this red button is to switch from dual motor to rear motor. I added the mirrors. If you look at the display, it has a cool display. In the display itself, you don't get voltage and you don't get battery percentage, which for me is a miss. You just get the battery bars. Not a big fan of just battery bars, because it's very difficult to really tell how much battery life you have left. But you have the speedometer, the pedal assist mode that you can switch here up or down, right? You have your power button, you got the trip, and then you have your odometer. Now, the bike resets every time you turn it on and off. You can get to the menu by holding the plus and minus buttons. It'll get you to the menu. and you can change the settings. Now, I don't touch the settings, and I don't recommend you mess with the settings unless you know what you're doing. Moving on, you have this 7-speed Shimano shifter. It's the same one you see on a lot of e-bikes. I added the phone holder. If we move on, here's the batteries. This bike comes with two 48-volt, 15.6 amp on each. What I like about this bike, and we're going to go a little further back here before we go down to the pedals, is the seat. This seat is very comfortable. It has a faux leather feeling to it, but the seat is really comfortable. It has a place for a rack. It does not come with the rack. You have to buy the rack separate. If we move down here to the crank, it has this a little protector, but only in the front, not in the back. You have a standard crank. This is a 48-tooth crank. I added the redshift pedals that I add to all my bikes. It comes with a derailleur protector, which is pretty cool. If you come to the back, again, plastic fenders. I like plastic fenders over metal fenders because as you're riding through the road, you'll get rocks to kick up, and it's metal. It makes a lot more noise than plastic. You also have a rear light that also works as a brake light when you hit the brakes. And again, the turn signals are on the back. There's no turn signals in the front. So let's give you some specs that are straight out of the website. The claim on the claim range on their website is 115 miles with pedal assist. I can tell you we're not going to get nowhere near that. I've already rode this bike several times. I believe we'll probably get, today, we'll probably get close to 30 to 40 miles. I will be pedaling, but when we actually get a delivery, we're going full throttle, right? And I'll explain that on the ride as to why. It has a top speed of, on their website, it says 37 miles an hour, which is true. I've gotten up to 39 miles an hour, but the speedometer is about 1.5 miles. The speedometer is 1.5 miles faster than the GPS. And I've actually had some cop friends of mine to do radar on it, and it is 1 mile slower on radar. So the range between 37 and 39 miles an hour. Again, for me, I'm 150 pounds, I'm 5'7". So as a lighter, smaller rider, I can get more top speed on these bikes. As I mentioned, it is full suspension, front and rear, and the suspension on it is adjustable. Okay. We have, I talked about that. See anything else on it? All right, guys, that is the Cam V30 Pro Max. Let's go ride. All right, my beautiful people, we're about to start our shift. It's the morning shift. We just got an order as soon as I turned it on. It's right around the corner. It's paying, it's gotta be a big order because it's paying almost $8 for less than a mile. So, I anticipate this order to be, I anticipate the order to be big. And today I'm using my Movcan that I normally don't use for door dashing just because I want to change it up. Oh, I was about to say it's not on. I'm going to go over a couple other things related to this Movcan. But for now, oops, the gate is not open. Whoa, I got both. You see that? This is the problem when you have a dual motor bike. A lot of times that front motor is just as strong as the back motor, but it tends to spin out like I just did. Now, if you're new to the channel, first time you are watching me, what I like to do with these e-bikes is I like to ride them while dashing or grocery shopping. This is when I do my test. A lot of these other YouTube channels, they give you a lot of great information. But number one, they only ride the bike 1, maybe 2 days, maybe at most 3 days. I ride a bike before I do the actual review on the bike for a minimum of 7 days, right? That way you get a true feeling of the bike. You know, riding it 1 day, again, maybe 2 days, I don't think you can give the bike a true assessment of what it truly is, right? So this is, I've been riding this bike for a while. I've already put 222 miles on it. So I can give you a true assessment of what it is to ride this bike. Now, I'm headed to do my first pickup of the day. The dash is going to be from 7 to 10 today. It's 7:03. I am taking my time to get there because I'm very close. And again, if this is the first time you're watching me on this channel, especially dashing, when you get an order, I don't like to rush, or when I get an order, I don't like to rush to the restaurant because I want to pick up the order when I get there and I don't want to wait around. We're probably going to wait here because it is very close to my house. Again, this is a 750 order. Morning. Buenos días.
¿Cómo estás?
It's 6 orders, but it's 4 empanadas, 1 ham and cheese, 1 ham, egg and cheese, and an iced coconut mocha latte, which if you're from this area, come to the Grove, come to this little coffee shop, because that iced coconut mocha latte is delicious. Let me just show you around here because it's a pretty cool spot. If you've never been here, this is an iconic area. It's the Roth New River Groves. It's been here forever. And you got some cool stuff here. And as I mentioned, like I said, this place is, the order is not ready, or it's almost ready. Tiene una bebida, ¿no? Sí. No, así está bien. Muchas gracias. I love this place because they do it right. They seal the cup as you're supposed to. Now this is all going to go on my bag, not on the bike. So I have two different types of bags that I use. One where it opens at the top. This one opens at the top as well, but and then this one, I use this one when I don't have a lot of storage space on the bike because this is expandable. And since I have the Movcan and I just put that generic rack or basket in the back, you know, I'm going to be using, I took the black bag out in case I get a bigger order, and it's expandable. Okay. One thing I noticed sometimes on this GoPro camera, the actual view is not that great. So I apologize right off the bat if I cut some of the views out. So let's verify. Pickup's complete. And then we're gonna head to the property. And it's actually west of us. What road is that? 61st. Now this bike has cruise control. So as you're riding and you reach a certain speed, it'll go ahead and activate the cruise control, which I think it's a cool feature. And as I mentioned before also, what I do is once I get the order, I try to drop it off as fast as I possibly can drop it off. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed on that little short stretch, I got it up to 37 miles and I wasn't full throttle. So their advertised max speed is on point. You definitely can hit at 37 max speed. I've actually, like I said, have gone faster than 37. And then if I have an opportunity, I'll show you how fast I got it. But from here, from a dead stat, let's see how quickly it accelerates. Now, I got both motors on. Wait till I get this light. It should be coming any second. See it spin out on the front? 20. So that you see a lot of influencers tell you how quickly you get to 20. They get to 20 pretty fast. I don't really see a point in that. It's a beautiful morning. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Watch my camera here. And you'll see how my camera and my phone, how they shake a lot. That's what I was referring to when I talked about how that adding that liner to the tires, especially the front tire, causes an imbalance on that tire. So it's a trade-off. Chances are I won't get a flat, or it really reduces the chances of me getting a flat, but it takes away from the driving, because you do get a little, on high speeds, you do get more shakes than you normally, or an imbalance in the tire. Now I've been asked before as to why when I dash, I only dash in the morning. And I don't dash during the dinner times when it's much more lucrative to dash. Here's why, people. I really don't do this for the actual money. You know, I want you guys to see that you could make money, but I really do this to get out and exercise, and I'm a firm believer that you should take care of yourself first. That's why I exercise first thing in the morning. I get out, I get my sun, you know, the sunlight. So I knock it off early, and then I can take care of all my other responsibilities that I have throughout the day. That's why I dash in the morning. Now, not sure if you noticed, I did not deactivate or turn off the Uber app. When it gets really busy, I'll turn them on, turn them off. I play with it, but it's a strategy of mine. And we can, you know, we have an opportunity to explain it. But basically, if you really want to make some decent money, you have to use more than one app. But you have to be careful, because you can get into a lot of trouble using more than one app. So I'll show you my strategy, but basically anything that takes me less than 5 minutes to get to and back, I'll keep them both on. If it's gonna take me more than 5 minutes, I'll turn the one that doesn't have the order off. Okay, 6350 right in front of me. And I'm going to apartment 108. And they give you a cool chart here. So 108, it's back here. Is there any messages? Leave that door. Turn this off for now. I always like to set myself up before I actually move. Let's go drop this off to apartment 108. I like to have this little bench. $8. All right, so if you can see, I'm out of my zone. It's asking me if I want to switch. I do not want to switch, so I don't switch zones. Now we have to head back to our zone. All right, guys, here's a tip. Getting to know your zone. I mean, this is an obvious tip, but getting to know your zone and your area, hugely important because it'll save you time. All right, let me fix this camera. It'll save you time, and in this business, time is money. I've been here before, but I don't know the layouts of the apartment. And where I deliver to is right here. I actually drove around the building because I didn't know that that entrance right there will take me to that apartment. The apartment's literally right there. So I could have saved myself at least a minute or two. When you add that up throughout the day, if you're saving yourself, 1, 2, 3 minutes or so, it adds up. That's an extra 3, maybe 4 deliveries at $8 a pop, that you're missing out on. And this is why I say about this job, right? You have to, if you want to make money, you have to, number one, you have to hustle. You have to be willing to work your ass off. Number two, you have to be very strategic as to how you hustle. Using 2 apps, turning one on and off. Also, like understanding your zone. When you look at what's the fastest route, because a lot of times the GPS that they get, the routes that they give you on the GPS, they're not the fastest route. One of the reasons why I love dashing, and I firmly believe, and I will argue with anyone that dashing in a bike is more profitable than a car, is not because of the savings you get, right? You're not paying for gas, the maintenance on it's much less, and it's costs less to have an e-bike, right? You're not paying for insurance, you're not making a car payment, all that stuff, you're saving. But also, I think it's cheaper because you definitely can get to your location much faster than you could in the car. Like right now, if I had a dash, I would not be waiting in this light. I'll be taking the sidewalk to get to my location, moving from point A to point B as quickly as possible. That is the idea, and that's what you should be doing. And you constantly need to be thinking about your routes. All right, I had forgotten to activate Strava. And I use Strava because I wanna know my distance, right? Because I know, I mentioned earlier that I've been riding this bike already for a while. I got 225 miles on it. I know more or less what kind of range I'm gonna get on this bike. So I like to keep track of my distance. And since this bike, every time you turn it on and turn it off, the trip resets, I like to use Strava. So I need to add 3.4 miles to it because I forgot to activate the Strava before we took off. All right, I just got a pickup at Walgreens. Let me go this way. So, see, this is a 3-mile pickup. It's gonna take me about 15 minutes to do. So now, I will pause the DoorDash app. Because it's gonna take me longer. This one's gonna take me 15 minutes to finish. This is the shopping order. I actually like shopping orders because there's really no time frame. Like, unlike food, you know, you really want to get the food to the customer as quickly as possible. And in a shopping order, you don't have to do that. And for whatever reason, and I can, you know, those that dash, comment in the section below. And shopping orders, you have a tendency to get tipped more often. And sometimes even more than a regular food order. Alright, I'm cutting it, and as you can see, 37.5 miles an hour, and I'm going into a very heavy headwind. Now, the other thing about this bike that you should notice is the voltage sag when you're going on pedal assist number 5. It really does kind of drop. And if you're not familiar with the bike, the D10, I already lost the body report. But in reality, you have not. This is why I like when it shows you percentage and voltage. Because it gives you a better reading as to how much battery life you actually have left. Versus battery farms, you really don't get any real accurate reading. That's why I like to track my miles on Strava so that I can make sure that I don't run out of battery. Now, out of all the bikes that I have for dashing, this one really has this one, even though it's dual battery, it's on the smaller side, right? It's 48 volts, 15.6 amps on both batteries, total 30 amps. You know, when you consider like my Mini Go, which is 72 volt, 50 amp battery, it's a big difference. Like I said, it's a pretty cool feature. between switching from dual motor to single motor. Back there, I accidentally hit the button and it went to single motor. But I had already showed you the takeoff on dual motor. Now I'm gonna take it off so you can see single motor. It's a very easy, slow start on single motor. Now, you want to conserve battery, then staying on single motor does help, and pedaling, right? And right now I'm going to stay on single motor on this shopping order, because even though you want to complete as quickly as possible, look, I'm on cruise control, I don't have to work the throttle, I don't have to pedal, and it gives you a smooth ride. And on single motor, pedal says 5, the top speed is going to be 31.6, 31 flat. I do have that headwind that I talked about. But it's pretty cool. Let's talk about comfort on the bike. As I mentioned before, one of the pluses on this bike is the seat. It is really comfortable to ride. You do have an upright position when you're riding this bike. You have these BMX handlebars that are, for me, are the right level. You can adjust them forward and back. So it is a very comfortable ride. And at 32 miles an hour, you don't get that little bit of a shake you get because of that front tire imbalance with that liner. And I mentioned before, the sweet spot for these bikes to dash with is between, in terms of speed, you want a bike that goes at least 30 miles an hour, and preferably that it hits 40. So between 30 and 40, you're loaded. You know, for me, that's a perfect speed. You know, you're not going super fast. Here is the Walgreens. I believe it's on this corner, right? Or is it over there? No, right here. This is the back. Again, this has taken me way out of my zone. We're too far west. But that's what can happen when you're working on dual motor. I mean, on dual axe. So there's such. Oh, wait. Oh, this is not it. My bad. It actually was that other building. It actually was this one. All right, so we only have to pick up 2 items, which is pretty cool. All right, another thing that I did not mention, I have these off-market alarms, right? That I like. So it's a little bit of a deterrent. Okay, so we have 2 items. They're both kids' items. And there should be, oh, it doesn't tell me the aisle. Throat. What's the other one? Walgreens. So let's go to cough right here. Maybe it's here.
Turn left, then pick up on the left.
Sometimes these, see, if you know the stores, like I don't work out west in this area as much. I always stay east. And I've gotten very familiar with the layouts of the stores, so you can get your items quicker and get out quicker. I am not too familiar with it. I'm gonna ask. Bless you. Bella, buenos días. Una pregunta. ¿Para dónde se encuentra este artículo?
En la 7.
La 7.
En la 7, sí.
Gracias. So I was in the right spot. I was definitely in the right spot. But, so here's what I do. See the color? I try to see if I can get the color to pop out. And right now, it's not popping out. And this is children's. Perfect. Here it is. So, here it is. Bam. Found the item. Let's scan the item. Good. Now let's get this one. And again, you look at the color, and this one is throat. I don't see it there, but it looks like that. It's a Walgreen product. Here it is. Walgreen throat. Runny nose. Runny nose. Walgreens. Here it is. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, I am. Now let's go check out.
And I say, no, it's you who has to give it to me now. Because when I told him, he said you have to give me the $300 left. He's like, what 300? And I'm like, so in top of that, I'm going to be screwed. And I texted the guy and I said, listen, the 300 left, you have to give it to me, not him. I didn't do no business with him. The business you did with me. So now, you would think he's the dad, he's gonna help the kid find a car, right? He's a man.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Mm-mm. So I told my dad, I was the one who's gonna go and try to, go get screwed up or whatever, because
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen. And my dad communicated with my cousin. And then you don't wanna bother no one because everybody's busy. Everybody has their own stuff going on. And everybody would think, why doesn't his dad help him? You know?
Oh, this is the same thing. Don't wear that out. Let's do
I
touch
feel bad
surface
because
anyway.
this car belongs to him, it's not mine. Even though it's under my name, you know?
Yeah.
And he didn't give me the money that when he showed off the car, he didn't give me the money. He didn't even tell me.
It's registered as a what I co-op, right? So the money's gonna go back onto your card, okay?
Okay.
Slow, slow, slow. It's 16.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. You have a good day.
Okay. I'm not sure if you don't know, once you pay for it with the DoorDash card or the Uber card, you take a picture of the receipt, you submit it. I keep the receipts in case there's any dispute later on. So we got that. It's complete. Now let's take it back. Oops, forgot about the alarm. And we're going back the way we came, which is good because I need to head back. East. Now you're going to notice a huge difference between using single motor and dual motor. One of the tricks that you can conserve battery and still use the advantages of having dual motor is in your takeoff. So you can turn it on when you're just off so you can get a quick acceleration. And then as you start going, turn it off. Because as I mentioned, you really don't have to go, faster than 30, 32 miles an hour. Sometimes you may want to go faster than that. For example, if you get 2 orders on 2 separate apps, I would go as fast as I can to make sure you do both deliveries within the required amount of time. Look, I passed. Talking to you guys, and I missed my turn. Let's head back. Let's go up. Should be. Wow, I passed it by a lot. So I'm only 3 minutes away, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the Uber app. It's going to tell me that I'm out of my zone, I believe. Yeah, I don't want to switch. Now it's supposed to be finding orders as I dash back to my zone, but I can tell you that even though it's supposed to be doing it, it's rare that you're going to get an order before you get to your zone. Actually, if you do interval training, I talked about this in another video, right? Interval training is probably one of the best training you can do to burn fat quickly and get in shape quickly, right? It's one of the reasons why I started CrossFit many years ago. I think the CrossFit was not about interval training, but that's what got me to search the internet over, protocols, training protocols. And see here, you want to go ahead and put dual motor, get it up. We're gonna be going in there, but I gotta make a U-turn up here. Should have turned with that guy. So going back to my story, many years ago, while looking for a protocol, I found CrossFit. This was back in, I think, 1999. Or it could have been like 2001, I'm sorry. I think it was 2001. Found CrossFit. Anyway, point being is, like right now, if you do a pull-up sprint, 30, 15, 20 seconds, and do that throughout your shift, you're gonna get in shape. All right, we're looking for 7015, which should be down there on the right. Here it is, 7015. Now the question is, what apartment? Let's see. And there's a freaking pen. Oh my God. See, I can't stand this because there's a pin required. And I have the address, but there's no freaking damn it.
The call regarding your Uber trip or order. Please do not share any personal details. This call will be recorded for safety and security purposes.
This is the annoying part. Super annoying. All right. That was not fun. Now we'll see. Let's see if we get an extra tip for having the wrong address. Anyways, let me head back. I gotta go grab my charger because this phone will not last shift. And I didn't grab a charger. All right, there's two things that I failed to mention during the introduction of the bike is the fact that this has a charging port. A USB charging port here for the phone, and then the brakes. It has hydraulic brakes that are very good for this bike. 8 miles. Let's go. things that I want to mention, and I'm going to mention it in my final thoughts at the end of this video. But I use these bikes to hustle with. I have fun with them. I ride for leisure. But I need a bike to be an all-around bike, meaning it needs to have speed, it needs to be durable, because I put a lot of miles on them, and they need to have a lot of range. So that doesn't mean that a bike that I talk about doesn't fit you, right? So if you're not going to dash on them, like I'm going to give you an example of this particular bike. I think it's a phenomenal bike for the average rider, right? If you're only going to use it for leisure, to run some errands here and there, I think this bike is perfect. It's comfortable. You can add some cargo space to it. You have to be very careful out there, right? Even most of these people have no clue what they're doing. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying, this bike, it rides smooth, it has power, it has relative range, right? Because range is relative to the individual what you think range is. As a dasher, someone that hustles and rides all the time, I need maximum range. Like for example, my Juliet Pro and my Juliet Pro 2, which by the way, I just been approved to be a authorized dealer for the eHoro bikes. So if you are interested in one of those bikes, then hit me up because I'm going to be selling them. But that's going to be a subject for another video. But going back to what I was saying about my reviews. My reviews, I take these bikes to the extreme. So, like I can tell you, I'm almost confident, and I've said this earlier, I don't use this bike to dash often, and the reason I don't use it to dash often is it really doesn't have the range that I need. I ride from 7 in the morning to 10 a.m., and I put in easy 40 to 60 miles. This is not going to give me 40 miles. So, the way I ride it, it's not going to give it to me. If I'm busy, it's definitely not going to give me that range. If I'm not busy and I'm staying at pedal assist 3 or 4 and I'm pedaling like I am right now, I can get a little bit more range out of it. But if I'm busy, as soon as I pick up that order, I'm at level assist 5 and I'm full throttle. And I'm riding as hard as I can ride, right? Because I want to get that delivery done as quickly as possible, because that's how I make money. Hope that makes sense, and hope it gives you a better idea. So you don't get skewed when you start watching my videos and say, well, I'm not going to dash, so that doesn't apply to me. Well, you don't have to dash. It just gives you an idea on the bike's capabilities. And I gotta tell you, for the price, I'm telling you, it's hard to beat this bike. This bike is under $1,000 right now. You can get it for $969 on the Movcan website. For under $1,000, everything you get, turn signals, lights. I mean, it's hard to beat, people. All right, let's go and then grab this order. Excuse me, man.
Can you grab this?
Rhonda, this is... That's Chrissy.
Buckets. Then, take 100
Yeah, this is like I said, great pickup because oops. Now, if you watch the channel, you know I hate delivering hot drinks. Thankfully, this is not going to be a far ride. If you were delivering in a car and you had to take this road, man, you're stuck. This goes for miles. I gotta turn, bro. Just to finish my thought, what I was saying about the bike itself, right? I've already talked about how the ride quality is good. Obviously, I diminished the ride quality a little bit by adding the extra protection to the tires. So there's, like I said, there's a little bit of a shake because that front tire, that liner that I bought with them, it's way too thick on it and very difficult to put on. So it created that imbalance in the tire. But going back to what I was saying, if you're going to not dash, this bike is freaking perfect. And even if you dash, if you're not looking to dash for an extended period of time, it'll work, and you can't beat the price. But I wouldn't necessarily go by price if you're going to dash, right? If you're going to hustle with the bike, I wouldn't worry about price, because if you've been following me, these bikes pay for themselves very quickly. Like, for example, my Julia Pro and the Julia Pro 2, if you haven't seen those videos, I recommend you watch those videos. For me, those are the perfect bikes. They have speed, they have power. They have speed, they got power, and they're reasonably priced. All right, I'm here. Eve at front desk. The guy's, oh, the person's name is Rhonda. Let me just make sure. Good morning.
Good morning.
This
There's
is
a little table right there.
okay.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you,
Yeah. Who's it for?
Rhonda.
Rhonda. Okay, thanks. Have a great day.
You
Mind
too.
your step, okay?
God bless.
Take care.
Again, I take these orders all day long. 1.2 miles was it? Yeah, I think 1.2 miles, $5. It was the order was ready when I got to Starbucks. It wasn't coffee. I mean, it was coffee, but it was small, so you don't get the issues you have when you have like a venti that's super hot. It's the flea market. This is the Hollywood, I forget the name of this farmer's market. I keep saying the farmer's market. Great farmer's market, people. I was out here this weekend with my son. We took out, he drove my mini goat, I drove the motor goat, came out here. And here's the plus about, again, I talked about this in terms of savings. Excuse me. We went with some friends. We met up at my house and we all left at the same time. We got here 10 minutes before they did. They had to pay for parking. I did not. I had to park right out front, VIP parking. We were right up front. And when we left, the line to leave was even longer. And we got to the house 20 minutes faster than they did. And they had to pay, I think it was $15 to park. All right, it's showing that it jumped back up to 3 battery bars. This is why I say it's unless they show you percentage or better yet voltage, it's tough to determine where you are. Damn it. It's really tough to determine where you are in terms of your battery percentage because look, it just dropped back down to 2, but I am using the throttle and I'm going faster. Anyway, we'll see what the final range is. The biggest thing to keep in mind is that we're probably not enough. Now we're down to 1. Got cruise control on. It's the light goes all the way out. And I get to the house. But as you can see, you're definitely losing power because we're at 35 and we're easy at 38, 37, 38, 39. money, just come out here and drive. But the way I see it, why not get paid to come out, right? Instead of driving around aimlessly, just get paid. You're seeing the same thing. Dropping a little bit. We're at 33.4. It did drop. So we're coming up to the overpass of the turnpike. And we'll see how much it drops there. Let's see if we can make this light. It looks like it's light. And we did! That God have blessed us with all green lights. Hey, you know, this overpass, you may not tell on the video, but it's a steep overpass. So, and we're already dropping, we're down to 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, back to 27. Okay, so if you recall, when I did the hill test before, on single motor, we didn't go as low as we just did. And that's because of the battery. The battery is dying. We only have one battery for storage. So you better decrease the power. Now even on flat, we're down to 32. This is the final stretch. Because we are almost less than 90 miles an hour. Back up to 34. Goes back down. juice left in the batteries. I don't know how much juice, but definitely still have juice. But what sucks is we can't really tell because we don't have a voltage reader or even a percentage. All right, we are done for today. I'm going to give you my final thoughts in a second. What a beautiful day today was, and another fantastic, phenomenal ride in the books. All right, I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Let me just first go over the numbers, right? As I showed you when we were coming in, we have 2 battery bars left, and if we look at Strava, we went 29.81 miles for a total ride time of 1 hour and 44 minutes. If we look at, so with 2 battery bars, I'm confident that you can add another 6 to 10 miles to this. So in the beginning, I mentioned that we're probably only going to get 40 miles on this bike. And if I actually let this battery drain, we would have gotten at least 36 to 40 miles. So I was right on point. And this is why I watch the videos that a lot of these e-bike influencers do. I do watch those a lot. But one of the things I wish they did that they don't, because I think it makes a big difference. And you tell me in the comments if you agree or not. They normally ride a bike once or twice. I personally don't think that's enough to give a proper review on a bike. If there's, I've been riding this for a week, right? I don't think, in fact, I showed you, we have over 300 miles on this bike. I don't think riding it one day gives you a true understanding of the bike. When you ride it for a week, and you ride it for a week straight, and you ride it for a lot of miles, you get a full understanding for the bike, and you can also tell and gauge the durability of the bike. Big difference. Anyway, what I'm not going to do on this channel that they do, they break down every little thing. I don't think that's all necessary because you can get the specs from the website, right? But let's go over what we made. If you look at DoorDash, we made $31.25. Our total active dash time was only 45 minutes. But as I mentioned, we rode for 1 hour and 44 minutes. So total time. And that's on DoorDash. On Uber we did, and I just got a tip. The thing with Uber too that annoys the crap out of me, like I looked at it. So right now I made $12.75 on Uber, but when we got here, I looked at it, it was only $8.75 because I don't know what the delay is between with the tipping, but normally they don't calculate the tipping until way after the fact. Anyway. So if you calculate the two, it's over $40-something for today for total dash time of less than 1 hour. That's not bad. Now, total ride time was 1 hour and 44 minutes. So even if you include the entire dash time, or the entire time that we were on the road, even if you include the entire time we were on the road, you're still looking at over $20-something an hour. It's not bad. Now, as I said before, this channel is about e-bikes and the hustle with e-bike, right? Now, you don't have to actually hustle with these bikes if you don't want to watch this channel. I think a lot of the information that I provide in this channel is useful, and probably more so for the average consumer, the person that's going to buy a bike to commute, or it's going to buy a bike just for leisure. And here's why: because I'm actually going to ride it, and if you see how we wrote it, how the commuter would, right? Traffic lights, stop signs, traffic, all that stuff. We're going to write it like that. Versus when you look at some of these other e-bike channels, most of them will take it through the same route that they normally do, and most of them look for open roads, right? There's no actual commuting with the bike. There's no actual hustling with the bike. So even if you're not going to hustle, watch the video. I give you a lot of information. It tells you, it'll give you a better idea on how the bike will function in a real world environment. So anyways, those are the numbers. Let me give you the overall experience on the bike. I like to rate these bikes or rank them from a scale of 1 to 10. I'm giving this bike a 7. And most of it is because of what you get for, actually I'll give it a 7.5. I can't go higher than, I can't give it an 8 or higher, because for me, an 8 or higher is for a bike that has everything that I personally need, right? I need speed, I need range, like big range, right? And the bike needs to be a quality built bike. Not that this is not a quality built bike, because I personally think it's a very, the quality of it is good. The components are good. Everything is good on this bike. And if I were to compare it with the price point, this is definitely a big 10, right? Because for $900, and I'm going to say this again, for $969, everything you get with this bike, that's a phenomenal deal. You'll be very hard pressed to find any bike on the market at this price point with everything you get. Turn signals, horn, with the exception of the tires, but we discussed that before. Dual motor, dual battery. You got speed, you got range, you have power, acceleration. You have everything you would want in an e-bike. And you have the ability to go from single motor to dual motor by a push of a button. That is huge. If you saw the video with my Furious EMX bike, I love that bike. But I hate the fact that I can't push a button to switch from dual motor to single motor. I have to go through the panel up here and toggle until I get to the mode that I want. A little bit of an inconvenience, and so it takes away, that takes away from the experience versus just pushing this button, right? Just push the button, you go from single motor to dual motor. And if you saw in the actual ride, I recommend, now we stayed almost entirely in dual motor because I wanted to see the range. If I would have went single motor, we would have definitely got a lot more range. But I wanted to see how it was being in dual motor and riding regularly, so you can have a worst case scenario with the bike. Now, again, the comfort, a 10. The power of the bike, I'm going to give that a 10 as well. The range, I give it an 8 because, again, for me, I need a bike that goes 40 plus miles an hour with full throttle, right? My Furious, both of my GOAT bikes, all my Juliet, definitely my eHorror bikes, they're all in the 80 plus, 60, 70, 80 plus ranges, depending on which bike we're talking about, right? My motor on my Mini GOAT and my Juliet Pro, those have the biggest range. I can easily get 100 plus miles on those. My Motor GOAT and my Juliet Pro 2, you're talking 60, 70 miles full throttle, right? Okay, anyway, I'm going to close with this. If you're not, and if I'm repeating myself, I apologize, but I'm going to close with this. Even if you're not going to use this bike to hustle with, it's a phenomenal bike. I recommend you buy this bike, right? But I'm going to give you my argument as to why you should at least try to hustle 2 or 3 times a week, or maybe 1 time a week, depending on how often you ride. Most of you will ride, if you, and I'm not talking about commuters, but it works even if you're buying a bike to commute. If you're buying it for leisure, most of the time you're going to get bored. So why don't you spice it up by at least going out once a week and dashing, because you're not going to get bored. You're going to make some money that it's going to allow you to cover a lot of the expenses on the bike. For example, some of the auxiliary stuff that you may want to buy. To recoup the money that you paid for the bike, you can do that very easily by dashing. And again, when you dash, you decide where you want to go, when you want to go, and how you want to go, right? But it really will allow you to enjoy the bike more, stay fit longer, because when you're dashing, you're going to be out there at 2 hours. I mean, the hour and 44 minutes we were on there flew by. Time is going to go by super fast. And for me, that added benefit or that side effect of doing that is the fitness aspect of it. Make sure you pedal, and if you're pedaling, even though you're using some assistance, you're getting exercises, you're going outside, absorbing some vitamin D, right? Anyway, my beautiful people, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Make sure that you ride safe, ride, hustle, repeat. Love you guys.